All right. So once again, welcome to the Spatial Developers. So this is a mentorship program that came up somewhere 2 months ago or a month ago. Yeah, and the whole idea is to teach or mentor geospatial professionals in building geoportal. So you can all bear with me now. Now that building geoportal, when you take last time I was setting an example, when you take a computer science guy and you take a GIS person, both individuals are good at their field, but when you take each of them, they are lacking at different sides. So let's say when you take a GIS professional can do anything in GIS, remote sensing, and all that. But when it comes for the person to write a program with the knowledge he or she has, it becomes a problem. Sorry. When you take a computer science guy who is very good in programming, but he has no knowledge in GIS and remote sensing, when you ask him to do any program or develop any program related to that field, it becomes a problem. Sorry. So this thought came up when I tried to I would say divert a little bit into data science. And I was like, okay, let me just get some 4 people so I can train them on the stuff that I used to do for the past 6 to 7 years, so that side of me doesn't die off. Yeah, and this is the product. So everybody in this group saw the post on LinkedIn and joined, and which tells me that there are a lot of people who are interested in this geospatial developments. Yeah, so I will quickly give a brief introduction about me, and I'll also introduce 2 other colleagues. And because of the numbers, there are 2 colleagues of mine who are equally good in their own field, and they will also introduce themselves. They are going to take some sessions of the mentorship program, and they will come after I do my introduction. So I'm an Estopoku Patin, and for the past 6 to 7 years now, I've been developing softwares for companies or institutions, yeah, international companies and all that, multinational companies, yeah, all related to geospatial applications, yeah. And I have a background in geomatic engineering, and I'm currently finishing my MSc in geoinformation science. So you can see where I'm coming from a geomatic, and I'm ending up in geoinformation science. Yeah, someone will ask where did the computer science or the programming started? It started when I was on campus, and I developed interest in programming. I thought I was just learning it for my personal stuff, but before I said that, it became another thing else, and this is what I'm using to earn a living currently. So I would say I'm a geospatial developer by profession, but currently I'm a data science engineer in my current place. Yeah, so I will introduce Jedediah. I've worked with Jedediah for the past 5 years. Yeah, for the past 5 years, and I'll open the floor for him to also introduce himself. Yeah, Jed,
Okay.
so if you're on the call, you can hear.
Yeah, thank you, Ernest. Okay, so I'm Jedediah Majano, and I've been working with Ernest for some time now, and I'll be assisting Ernest in doing this mentorship program. Yeah, so that's all for now. Thank you.
Yeah, can you give a little background about yourself so that they will know the kind of person you are?
Okay, so I have a background in geography, and I completed as a I completed with a degree in geography and sociology in 2017, and then in 2017 I started working with NSN, the company with which he was working in at the time, and that's where I learned programming, and I've been doing so till now. So I currently work as a GIS technician slash developer at the University of Ghana, and I also do basically back-end engineering from time to time. So that's I think
Okay.
that should be all for now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Judge, for
You're
the
welcome.
brief introduction. Yeah, so if Eugene Fifi Brown is also on the call. Eugene is a UI, a front end UI specialist or developer. So, Eugene, the floor is open.
Okay, thank you very much, and good evening, everybody. It's good to meet you all. My name is Eugene Fifi Brown, as Ernest said. I've known Ernest for quite a long time now. I originally my first degree was in computer science, and so I'm a front-end developer. But God being so good, I ended up in a company that were into developing geospatial solutions, and so as the work demands, I picked up a few, GIT, that is just technology stuff, and then I'm also into cloud computing, and so I assist my company in doing cloud computing stuff. Basically, yes, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Eugene. So, colleagues, these are the other two instructors that I mentioned earlier. So I'll quickly share my screen so that we can look at our roadmap. Then I'll just go through the roadmap, then the tools we are going to use, and I'll open the floor for questions. Yeah. So before I even start with the roadmap, so basically this section is to go through the roadmaps just for you to know what we will be doing. Then we will also go through the program outline for each week. Yeah, then I think we'll be done for this session. Then, God willing, next week, Monday, that is where the whole program is going to start fully. So, we'll be having 3 sections a week. So, each week, as I posted earlier, we'll be having Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Saturday. So, 4 times a week. So, 4 sections a week. So, Saturday will be Q&A. We'll open the floor for people to come in. Who are the people who are having issues with the things we touched during the week to bring it up. Then we'll also assist the person in solving the obstacles. All right. Please, can you see my screen? I've shared my screen. I don't know if you can see it yet.
Not yet.
Okay, we can see it now.
Okay. All right. So the main purpose or the main objective of this program is to mentor you in developing a geoportal from scratch. And one of the things personally I would want each and every one of you here to at least be able to do after the program, even if not the geoportal, by the end of this session, you should be able to build a personal profile page or what do you call it? A personal profile page or website, a personal website for yourself, and host it on GitHub or any free hosting sites or even paid hosting sites. So that's on the other side, what I want each and every one of you to learn with the skills that you'll be going through in I think the fourth phase here over here. So I'll go through when it comes to so we'll be starting the whole program with QGIS. So we will be doing all the stuffs that will help us develop our geoportal or our WebGIS application. I know I kept getting these feedbacks that how can you use like 2 sections or a section a week to teach you what do you call it, QGIS. Yeah, so we are not going to go into details of QGIS. Our objective is to build a geoportal. So all the stuff that you can do in QGIS to prepare your data, to get your data sets for the geodatabase, and for your geoportal will be taught in this section. We will also go through a Postgres database. I don't know if all of you have been able to install. If you have, I know by now you've already seen the interface, how it looks like. So we'll be going through some basic stuffs in there. Okay, so with the QGIS, for the QGIS, we will be going through the introduction. They will be creating some basic maps. We will be styling the vectors and raster data sets that we'll be using for our WebGIS or our geoportal. We will be going through working with attributes and also importing CSVs and getting them into a database. And also, we'll also go into the plugins, how to install the plugins, some plugins that we think is key for you to know as a geospatial developer. So we'll go through all the plugins, and maybe after this whole program, maybe the next set of program we'll be organizing, we'll be developing our own plugins in QGIS, which we'll be doing that, but not in this section. Yeah. And also in QGIS, we'll be also going through linking your QGIS to your PostGIS. You know, nowadays we are shifting from saving shape files from on our desktops to work. I don't know if you are aware of that. Gone were the days you'll be saving your shape files on your desktop in folders on your machine, and the moment you get somebody comes on your desktop and mistakenly deletes something, everything is gone. So we're teaching you how to build your own geodatabase, import all your shape files into your geodatabase. Anytime you need it, you call it into your QGIS. If you have ArcGIS, you can do that, but I wouldn't be teaching that here because the motive or the main objective is open source. So we'll be using QGIS. Okay, so after the QGIS PostGIS, we will then move to our GeoServer, and we'll also try to publish our data sets. So the data sets that we'll be working on in QGIS and importing them into our PostGIS database, we will now publish them in QGIS, style it, and do the necessary stuffs in GeoServer, then prepare it for our geoportal. Then we will now come to the basis of web development. That is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And with JavaScript, for the purpose of this training, we'll be using the library called jQuery. Then we'll go through the introductory sections of Bootstrap. So we'll be doing all that. So this section is what I mentioned earlier, that by the time we finish this section, you should be able to build your own professional website for yourself, your personal website for yourself. And I will also teach you how to publish your website on GitHub for free. And you can just get the link on your CVs or wherever you want to get it. Then after we've done our web development, we will now come to the leaflet, and leaflets will be our map library. It's going to help us to visualize all our data sets on the map. We will try go through some stuffs, basic stuffs in leaflets. We'll go through the introduction. We'll try to dive into the basic, adding all the base maps that you can think of. We'll be adding data sets from vector to raster, and we'll also teach you how to style and interact with the map. We're building an interactive map. So all these things will be developed in bits and pieces. So if you saw the whole roadmap, you could see some project works in there. So after teaching all these in bits and pieces, in the project work, we'll give a project out. You use your own data sets, then you develop a system out of it. So that's what we'll be doing. So let me continue with the leaflets. We'll also be going through searching layers via the leaflet search. Leaflet also has a lot of plugins. We'll go through some of them, and we'll also dive into GIS analysis using TEF.js. Yeah. So these are some things that we'll be going through in leaflet. And okay, I forgot these stuff. So we'll also be going learning how to create your own heat map using your data sets, and that's more an advanced version of the leaflets. Creating your clustering, your geolocation, the routing and directions, and using your drawing tools, like and animating certain features on your map. So with the leaflets, there will be a lot of things. That's the main stuff we'll be doing, like the main thing we'll be going through. So we'll spend a lot of time there. Then after we've been able to go through our leaflets, we'll have our first project work, get all the things that we've learned earlier in the earlier weeks. Then we'll build our project work, then continue the journey to our Earth Engine. So I hope by now we all have our Earth Engine accounts set up. So we'll go through the Earth Engine, and with the Earth Engine, we'll go through the interface of Earth Engine. And by then, we know we will be introduced to JavaScript already. So we'll take you through Earth Engine JavaScript, how their JavaScript looks like, how their functions, their objects, and all that. We'll go through that, and after we'll now come to Python. And I think this aspect of the program is key for many of us who are newbies to programming. As GIS professionals, at least you should know how to code in Python, because most of the things that you do is being automated using Python or R. And I think when you give me R and Python to choose, I'll always choose Python. I think Python is easy to learn. I stand to be corrected, but that's how I see it. So we'll be teaching you basics of Python. Then from Python, we'll come to Django. And Django is a Python framework, which is used for web development, backend stuffs. And it also has another side called GeoDjango. And the GeoDjango helps you in your spatial queries, your spatial your spatial development. So anything with spatial query, the GeoDjango makes it more easier for you to do that. So when we are done with the Python, the GeoDjango, then we will now have our project work 2. And with the project work 2 will be a bigger project which we will all develop together. So we'll give the project out for you to use your own data. We specify the data sets. We'll give out some data sets. You also look for your data sets, add it to it. Then you build a geoportal for yourself. So during the Saturdays, after the sessions, we will have about 1 week for you to go through all these process to put together your job portal. Then maybe we can have one live sessions and just look through some of the interesting projects some of you will be building, just to encourage ourselves. And I will quickly go to our GitHub repository. That is what we'll be using. And if you have any problem during the training sessions, kindly put all your questions there, and the team will try as much as possible to help you out. So when you go to the repository I shared with you, you are going to see this there. So it's for the new people among us on this call. You see the objectives about the program, the tools that we'll be using, and each of these links here lead you to a certain website, and you can also go through them. I think yesterday I saw some message on the page about GitHub tutorials, so I placed these GitHub tutorials here, which you can go through. Yeah, but I'll also be touching base on the GitHub. So we've put some resources here which will help you catch up with the training sessions. So what I want to talk about is this particular tab. So when you go to the repository, you see issues here. So when we give out projects or mini assignments, this is where we expect you to post them. So let's say, or you have any issue that you want to ask the team, you can come here and just type in the issue. So sorry, you come to the new issue, you click on new issue, then you type in the title of your issue or your issue, then you can just type in whatever you want to ask the team. In the same way, if it's an assignment, the header should be assignment, so that when we are going through the page, you will know which of them is an assignment, which is not, we can segregate the issues which is coming through the repository. Okay, and I also got some feedback from some of us that when you went through the folders, they were empty. Yeah, the reason why they are empty is because we've not started the program. So when we start the program, these repositories will be populated with some materials or data sets that we'll be using for the training. So we'll populate these folders for you to use. Yeah, so at this point, I'm going to pause and open the floor for questions if there is. So the floor is open for questions to be asked relating to what I've just presented or spoken about. Hello, are you all good?
Yes.
Yeah, we are here.
Yeah, the way we are quiet, it seems we are fine with everything.
It's all clear for me. Thanks.
Okay.
Yes,
And I also
we are okay. As for me, I'm all right.
okay. Yeah, we also want to know those of us who are still having issues with the Earth engine, kindly DM me after this session. We'll find some time during the week so that we go through together and register.
Hello, Ernest.
So,
Can you hear
yes,
me?
boss. Please, I can hear you. Hello. Please, I can hear you.
Ernest, can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, please. I can hear you. Hello. Okay, I think we lost him. Please, any other question? Okay, since we are all quiet, let me just touch base on the last aspect of it. Then we can bring the training or like the first section to an end. So we all the trainings, all the sections that we'll be having will be recorded, and all the recordings will be put on the YouTube page created for this program. That's just special developers. So when you go there, we are going to create a playlist for this set of trainings. So already, I think we have about 3 videos. When some of us were having issues about the Dual Server, installing the Dual Server, I did some videos to help them install. So we have some 3 videos already here. So I'm going to create a playlist and put all the sessions that we'll be having for the next 7 weeks. Yeah, so for the next 9 weeks, yeah. So all the videos for each section will be placed in there. All right, so week one we are going to do QJS, PostGIS, week 2 Dual Server, week 3 HTML, JavaScript for week 4, and Leaflet.js for week 4. And our first project work will be week 5. We will communicate, we will put the days, the dates for each of the weeks. It's going to be when we start next week Monday, it's going to continue till we finish. So when you miss any class or any section, you can go to the YouTube page. We will label them according to the weeks or according to the module that we will be tackling, so that when you miss any of the section, you can refer to the program and go to the playlist to check which of the sections that you missed. Then you should be able to catch up with the team. Yeah. So really good. Okay, so I think I'm done with my presentation. Since we don't have any questions, I'll ask Eugene and Jedediah if they have any other thing to add up. Then we'll call it a day.
Okay. Ernest, just to add up, I'll just encourage us that we should make the page a bit interactive, and so if we have any challenge whatsoever, we shouldn't hesitate at all to bring it on board so that we all can help ourselves. Yes, that's all for me.
Okay. Yeah, and one thing I want to also chip in is that a lot of us wants to learn how to program, but the same people also don't have the time to learn. So with this mentorship program, we will try as much as we can to teach you the basics, to teach you so that you'll be able to pick it up from there. So we'll be doing like about 30% of the work for you. It's up to you to add up the 70% to make it 100%. And one thing about programming is the moment you start learning and you break for some time and you come back to it again, trust me, you have to start again, because you will forget certain things, like the things that you learn. But when you are consistent, it becomes part of you, and you will keep on improving and you become a pro. Yeah. So Jed, if you have any other thing, you can get it on board then we can end the session since there are no questions.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you short. Sorry. I hope you can hear me.
Yes,
Ademi
please, I can
Michael.
hear you.
I'm
Okay.
Ademi Michael, and I'm not making a contribute. I'm not making asking the question really. I'm just turning the point and appreciating you for creating this platform for us to learn. And I promise you that I myself I'll be very productive in the class and active. So thank you once again, and thank you to all the resource persons. It's a great time working with you guys.
And thank you to Michael. Yeah. Okay, so someone just asked a question. I noticed you mentioned some plugins in QGIS that we must install. Could you mention the versions of QGIS compatible with the plugin so that we install the suitable versions before? Okay. With the plugins, I will get the list for you this week for you to install them before we start next week Monday. So I'll update the repository and also post it on the page or the platforms. Yeah. So I'll communicate that. Yeah. I'll do that. Yeah. All right. Thank you for that question. Okay. I think someone is also typing. Yes. Okay. So if you have any other question, you can just put it on the platform. Right after this session, I'll be on the page and I will answer all the questions for you. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. And see you, God willing, Monday, next week, Monday. And please try as much as possible to go through the documents that we've shared with you so that it will make the learning process a bit much more smoother. Because when you're able to go through the documents, you wouldn't be left behind. When we mention certain, like some keywords or some technical words, you should be able to at least, you've already read about it, so you catch up with it the whole class. So thank you once again, and have a nice evening or good night to those of us who are about sleeping. Stay blessed. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.